Now, another story heavily discussed online today is the disappearance of teletext from our TV screens. From January, yes, don't panic, it's not happening just yet. There's a bit of time for nostalgia. From January, viewers on ITV, Channel 4 and Channel 5 will no longer be able to access the text-based news service. Bosses at the company blame the growth of the web for its demise. Is it as simple as that? Well, Graham Lovelace is a former editorial director at Teletext and a consultant these days. Graham, good to see you.
Good to see you, Martin.
Why are they switching it off?
Well, they say it's for two big reasons. It's audience fragmentation. The rise in the number of television channels is actually, each time that a new channel is launched, the ITV and Channel 4 and Channel 5 audience shrinks a little. But it's also the rise of the internet and the fact that many of the advertisers that advertised on Teletext are going direct to consumers online.
And it is that simple. And presumably it's still got a cost. I mean, it's a quite simple service
yes,
compared to the sophisticated
it's the cost
web.
of all those information providers. I mean, I was part of the launch team back in 1992, and it was hundreds and hundreds of information providers, right down to a vicar that used to produce an overnight prayer, for instance, but really, really big multi-million-pound contracts with information providers all over the country.
And was it quite fun in those times, I suppose? You were playing with the technology because you had a relatively limited palette, didn't you? The size of the font was fixed, was it?
It was fixed with very, very large pixels, as your viewers will no doubt be seeing. Yes, we call them Lego brick graphics. We had 6 colours plus black and white. And one of the biggest viewer complaints, obviously, is around cycling pages that had come in on page 20 of 93 or something,
yes,
and wait for the page.
Didn't you?
Exactly. But it worked. You know, it was pre-internet. It was the Google of its day. If you wanted to find information, live information, real-time information, Teletext was the place to go.
Useful stuff. I mean, flight delays, flight information, it was sort of live, but you had that cycling thing. It could take 5 minutes, I suppose, to find out everything that was landing at Heathrow, couldn't it?
Yeah, but, you know, in its day, it was faster than dial-up internet of its time.
OK, well, the bloggers here, I mean, some people are saying RIP to Teletext, and we should say that the BBC, I don't think, are shutting their CFAX down, which is the equivalent thing on their channels at the moment. This is on analogue television, but this is one blog reminiscing about it, really, admitting, though, that the role of blogs and websites and things have just moved on, Graham. That's as simple as that, isn't it?
It is a sad day, really. I mean, many people I know around the country have been emailing me today and just reminiscing with old stories of Teletext. It is a sad day. It's a sad day for British broadcasting, but also a little bit of social history is disappearing.
Now, talk us through some of these graphics, because here's a site I've found here dedicated to news, teletext graphics. They're scrolling through some pages here. Now, doesn't it bring their memories back when you see that?
All of those page
double
designs.
High text, isn't
yes,
that
indeed.
clever?
I remember designing those pages back in 1992. They haven't changed, including the UK maps with very small red blobs indicating where you were. I mean, another point to make is that Teletext was regional. There are 28 different regional Teletext services
Central
around
Scotland,
the country.
there's a screen grab, look.
Absolutely,
yeah,
and that was completely revolutionary. People had never had this amount of information before at their fingertips.
And was it very expensive? I mean, compared to a newspaper or compared to broadcasting?
It was a multi-million-pound operation, yes, in terms of annual running costs, and the company did grow to several hundred people in its heyday.
Weather forecasting, information text-based, but I mean, you tried to do graphics as well. One thing I seem to remember, there was quite a good travel business started up this, wasn't it? It was almost like the first non-high street travel agency.
Yeah, this was the principal advertising revenue stream, and the fact that holiday advertisers were in live head-to-head competition with other holiday advertisers and flights companies meant that the viewers really had this sort of real-time live auction site where companies were changing prices by the second. They were guaranteed a bargain.
OK, Graham. Well, gather round, I suppose, New Year's Eve, you can have a special wake, really, for
There is a reunion being organised.
Is there really?
Okay. Yes, indeed.
We'll probably cover that nearer the time. Thanks for being with us tonight.